Okay, let me post this up on Insta.
Post on X.
Post this up on Insta.
Post on X. Oops. How do you get Kalamazoo out of the choices of Nashville, Austin, or Kalamazoo? Is it only because they're building a new arena?
It's gotta be. I just the Big Bird thing is so funny, like Kalamazoo in the discussion.
And then at that point, does the what are they called now? The Grand Rapids Gold, do they become
Mm,
the Portland, well, the now Kalamazoo affiliate? That would make sense. And assuming that like the Trailblazers affiliate is like somewhere on the West Coast, that's a little closer to Denver.
all right, let's put a song on here because why not?
Okay, the T-shirt they're giving away for the Pistons game is pretty neat. It's blue and it says all dog and it has a bunch of aggressive dogs on it.
Ooh. Alrighty, we are live. Well, we're posted. Yeah,
Oh,
oh
we
yeah, I
are
forgot
live too.
they play at 8 o'clock. Keep forgetting about them. Be up late tonight. Did you see that I think they're opening up that Chevy Plaza or whatever the heck that thing's called tonight for the game. Or whatever that little
Oh, like
outdoor
the little
watching
beer
area
garden,
is.
the little
Yeah.
like plaza beer garden thing that is only usable in the spring and summer.
Yeah, that
Hockey and basketball games are not.
they should have some like giant heat lamps that just I don't know, make it somewhat comfortable there.
Or hear me out, they just build out the arena a little more so it's covered.
True.
Just make it a
So,
rooftop.
ooh, Tin
What
Roof
if
has
you
entered the
hear me
chat.
out? What if you built a rooftop bar on top of Little Caesars Arena? You can party on top of the mascot.
Sold. Let's do it. All
Chris
right.
Illich, you have a brilliant idea for you.
Hire us. All right. This is
Money,
actually one third. This is actually 132.
yes.
Oh,
That's what it says.
cool. I am ready when you are. Oh, 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 oh.
They also changed like the
Yeti. Okay.
interface, so I have to find things now. Oh. Ready?
Yep. I had to make sure I had the right microphone. I'm good.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to the Warrior House podcast, where Warrior Pride lives. I'm your host, Ryan Reingart, joined by my co-host, Mike Sangster. Thanks for joining us on episode 132 of the Warrior House podcast. What? What happened?
Oh no. So every time you say hello and welcome to the Warrior House podcast, it gets really loud, and then Zoom figures it out and turns it down a little
Oh,
bit.
you gave me the hand like Ryan. I forgot to hit go live, and I definitely heard Zoom
No,
tell me you this is being recorded or whatever. I don't know. We're at 132. Sangster, I speak for both of us. It's been a long season.
it
I
has.
feel like we're both pretty exhausted at this point. We're never excited to say goodbye to Wayne State Athletics season, but this is going to be the last episode of season number 4. I just put a thing out on Instagram on our story and I asked, who would like to see us return for season number 5. So if you love us, get on over to the Instagram story, give us a little slide or whatever you want to call it. Let us know. Like, do you love it? Is there something else you want to hear from us? Do you hate us? Would you rather us ride off into the sunset and be old men that just go and play golf? We're up for whatever. Give us some options. But this will be the last episode. It's been a fun season. a lot of good stuff has happened. A lot of interesting stuff has happened, big stories, and we've gotten to cover all of it. And it does feel like we have another big time season coming up for the 2026 to 27 season.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Some big changes happening. Obviously, with football, is I think going to be top of everybody's mind going into 26. But certainly some big things happening with basketball. I just saw it's already that time of the year when you get the stories saying who our basketball teams have signed, who our volleyball teams have signed. I think they even had a cross country or track one come out not too long ago. So big things happening for 26, 27. But before we get to that, we got to wind down 25, 26. Couple bits of news that we were both really busy last week. I managed to turn a 1 hour job on my motorcycle into a 6 hour job, so that wasn't fun. Um, and Ryan was moving.
Yeah,
But
I moved houses.
yeah, also not that fun. But big thing coming out of that school just up the road, not Michigan State if you're a Michigan fan, but if you're a Wayne State fan, it's that school up the road, up the lodge, it's Detroit Mercy. Um, they're not eligible for postseason. Definitely basketball play. I'm not sure if it was the entire athletic department. I think it's just their basketball program, which one, your first reaction is LMAO, especially considering that certain people have transferred to that school to play basketball. And well, we have eligibility and we have a nicer arena. But the second thing, it does bring into a bigger conversation, and some people touched on it, which, in all seriousness, when you think about all these college guys and girls transferring between schools, some it's probably not even their first transfer, it could be multiple transfers. How do you line up the academics still? Like, I almost thought of transferring out of grad school. I didn't. I'm glad I did. I stayed at Michigan State. Uh, but I've never had to transfer schools before, not between like universities. You just got to wonder how much that is really impacting the student athletes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a good point. Because yeah, I mean, seeing that Detroit Mercy is not able to, they're still, well, who knows? I was going to say they're still going to compete. They're still going to do all this. I don't know if some of these players are going to be like, well, I don't want to play here. I mean,
Right.
if you didn't, I'll say it, if you're Jordan Briggs and you didn't have anything to do with Detroit Mercy before, and yeah, you're technically enrolled at Detroit Mercy right now. You had nothing to do with any of this. So you're looking at this
Yeah.
going like, yeah, I want to do great things in basketball, but like, man, I can't go to the postseason. I don't have a chance at March Madness.
Right.
I wanted to get up to this platform. So it
And you
it
consider
is an
that
interesting point.
Detroit Mercy was one win away from making the NCAA tournament last year. They were in the Horizon Championship. They ended up losing it, but they could have
Yeah.
easily been in the big dance last year. So one, you say LMAO because yeah, we're just at school down the road. Yeah, we're D2, whatever. But at the same time, it does warrant a pretty serious discussion a little down the line of how is this transfer portal impacting these student athletes. And also in some other news, it looks like Grand Valley is upgrading the resolution of their video board. They do have a large one already, but it's getting some upgrades. And the funniest comment I saw on there was so that their fans can see Ferris hanging 50 on him just that little more clearly. Uh, eh, I'd like a bigger video board at Tom Adams Field, but who am I to actually get anything done? So
Yeah, those are funny comments there. And then a little bit more local news for us within the Wayne State women's tennis team, who we will not really be covering too much of this episode. We might talk about them a little
sad.
bit, but Martina Spikoska by the ITA got the Midwest Senior of the Year. Good for her. I was trying to remember when we were talking about her if it was coming down into the GLIAC season or towards the end of regular season play that she was just on a tear winning all of her singles events and she was just helping to put the team in really good contention and very well deserved. So good stuff from Martin Spikoska. Um, at this point being a senior, definitely a bummer to see that she's probably concluded her time as a player with the women's tennis team, but it's been fantastic to follow her. We see her out at football and basketball games every so often right around the W Club. So she's been fantastic to be get to know a little bit, get to talk to, and just talk tennis for a couple minutes here and there. It's been fantastic. So again, congrats to Martina.
Yeah, and speaking of the Wayne State women's tennis team, unfortunately, as we did talk about in episode 131, or at least one of us did, uh, as we know, Wayne State women's tennis was not able to win the GLIAC championship, shutting out Michigan Tech, but then getting shut out themselves by Grand Valley. Unfortunately, the selection show did not go their way. Wayne State women's tennis did not end up in the NCAA tournament. We can also do a quick hit on softball just because that was also kind of a downer. They had a tough one out, a doubleheader at Saginaw Valley and then home against Saginaw Valley. We talked about it before that it was going to be a big series for them. Saginaw Valley was coming as the top team, and out of those four games, Wayne State manages to get one. They end up winning the first game at home, 3-2. The other ones, Wayne State ends up losing, and they ended up finishing. I didn't see where they finished, but definitely not eligible for the GLIAC softball tournament, and so unfortunately, their season came to a close last week.
Yeah, they ended up finishing seventh here, just about two
Oh,
games behind Davenport. So, I mean, like we talked about, like that had to be a fantastic showing for Wayne State over that season against what ended up being the number one overall seed in GLIAC softball. That's a tall order. And,
yeah.
the way that the season went, it just, the wins didn't show up as much as you would have liked to. You don't
Yep.
want to finish 7 out of 8 in GLIAC. Nobody wants to. But, it is what it is. Again, that's another one of those sports that I definitely say there were some highlights in there early on in the season. It felt like this team was one to be one to watch, maybe a little bit of a dark horse contender, if you will, for team of the spring, as we like to say. It didn't end up resulting in that, but nonetheless, we'll see what happens with this team going into next season. I don't know what all the coaching staff looks like. I haven't really looked all that closely. Like I said, I've had a lot going on, and so has Sangster. So closing out this season, we've not been able to dive in as much as we would have liked to. But as far as like who we have returning for this team, will say a lot. What coaching staff we have returning for this team will say a lot. And you hope that we're at least a GLIAC tournament team next season, but we don't quite know what it looks like yet.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate end, I think, but it is what it is. And all we can say is we just got to move on to the 27th season. Where we don't need to move on yet, though, is with uh, we still work to do, but we have a swan song for the men's golf team. They were selected to the NCAA Super Regional for the Midwest and Super Region, which was hosted in Big Rapids May 7th through May 9th. Wayne State finished 12th out of 20 teams competing in that Super Regional. Uh, they did have a really, really good round one, finishing in sixth place. Unfortunately, there was a bit of a drop off after that in round two and round three. Individually, Josh Lehner, Will Pollock, and Jack Julian were tied for 43rd at 8 over par. So there was definitely some consistency, and it just comes down to through all of your four or five golfers out there just need to be have a little better performance from each of them. Uh, the cutoff for the Nationals, Wayne State ends up finishing 11 strokes behind that last team that got in there. So unfortunately, Wayne State's men's golf season comes to a close, but it's at the Super Regional. And considering you look at a lot of these guys are not upperclassmen at all. They're freshmen, they're sophomores that had just come in either their first time playing for Wayne State golf or their first time actually starting in uh, different tournaments. So still some really good stuff. Still being able to make the NCAA tournament. Unfortunately, could not get out of regionals there.
No, you make a really good point. I also had the roster pulled up on golf, and Sean Sarah, redshirt senior, Harrison Chapman senior, and Josh Lehner is a junior. That's your upperclassmen.
Yep.
After that, you have all underclassmen. You got some freshmen and sophomores. In fact, it was all freshmen, sophomore, and Josh Lehner that were your big time scorers for this Wayne State men's golf team when it came to the super regional. So things are definitely looking up for this men's golf team, which is fantastic. Mike Horn, of course, still coaching. He just lives and breathes Wayne State. I remember we saw him at a volleyball match early on in the 2025 to 26 season. He was just having a blast there, and you combine all of that, and it's hard to not continue to be excited about this team. Also, I'll just say it, Sangster and I are kind of looking forward to getting some time on the course here as the weather gets a little bit nicer. So, um, wrapping up, definitely the Wayne State men's golf team. One, a bummer because, round one, this team was performing extremely well. I was following the scores here, seeing that we had a top six team, and then there was a little bit of a fall off after that. So you'd like to think as we get into next season, we'll be able to pick that up a little bit. Some of the experience will carry over, and we're going to be covering this men's golf team again next season very closely. Baseball, Sangster. It's definitely baseball season. I'm pretty sure it was 58 degrees today at the highest. I think
Yeah,
it might have been 53.
was nice this morning. This afternoon news kind of sucked.
Yeah, no doubt. So, we I think we missed it last week, but so over
Yep.
this last weekend was the GLIAC tournament, and we'll get to that here just in a minute. But the weekend before that, scheduling just worked out so much that Wayne State technically had a bye week from GLIAC play, so they were able to make a trip on down to Florida to take on then number 20 ranked Rollins. Who knows what the out? Well, we know what the outcome of that was. It ended up being a 3-1 series. Rollins ended up winning with that one. But like, was there any hangover from that, away series down to Florida that carried into the GLIAC tournament? I don't really know. May have been a good idea. May not have been a good idea. May not have been made any sort of a difference. We don't really know. But with that being said, the GLIAC tournament was happening up in Utica in the Sangsters neck of the woods. And we'll talk about our visit there here in just a minute. But first, back on Thursday, May 8th, May 9th, 7th, I'm sorry. I almost got there. Wayne State was taking on Parkside in the very first round. Parkside ends up winning this one by a final score of 8-5, which puts Wayne State straight into a do or die for the rest of the GLIAC tournament. Double elimination, at least, you get two chances, but man, you lose that first one that early on. The seat gets really, really warm every single game after that. And
Yep.
then this one, Parkside did get out to a fast start, and they just maintained the lead for the rest of the time. So, and it was a bummer because you throw Will Lowry out there for Wayne State, and Parkside's bats showed up, and they kind of lit up the Wayne State defense and the pitching in this one, and just the offense couldn't quite keep up with this one. So, puts us in a tough position, but they made some good things happen after that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a kind of a common theme throughout all these games that they were all real high scoring games, which is really not up to what Wayne State does well. During the regular season, Wayne State I think had really hung their hat on on pitching, but it's just how these tournament games go. So following it up on Friday, you got a do or die situation coming up against Purdue Northwest. The good news here is that Wayne State was able to win 12-9 to move on in the tournament. Uh, Again, though, Purdue Northwest was scoring every single inning. It took a 7-run fourth inning, huge inning for Wayne State to get by Purdue Northwest. And even then, Purdue Northwest was still challenging right up to that final out for them. So they didn't want to go home. But Wayne State was still able to get this one. Overall, Wayne State had two doubles, 4 home runs, and 11 hits to get you your 12 runs there, which set them up then for a Saturday afternoon game against Parkside, which Wayne State ends up winning 10-9 in the rematch in extra innings. This one, we were sweating this out because kind of the backstory here, we were planning on going to the night game if Wayne State had been able to make it. Ryan's dropping my trailer back off at my house, and we're just standing on my driveway, phone in hand, like trying to see if Wayne State can get this one done. I think when we were done dropping off the trailer, it was like in the bottom of the eighth or the top of the ninth, something like that, and we were sweating.
Yeah.
But still able to knock Parkside out. We got the opportunity to go later on Saturday night. Again, big time bats for both teams here. Will Lowry was back on the mound, but still had a tough time against the Parkside bats. They didn't want to go home either, but Wayne State gets it done with stolen bases. They got nine. Wayne State got 9 stolen bases. They got into scoring position. They were able to convert.
Yeah, that's in a game like that, you look at 10-9, every stolen base in that one counts. I mean, you don't get a guy over to second base, that means a ball in the outfield doesn't score that run. So I don't know if that's exactly how it played out because again, we had a lot of stuff going on Saturday. Luckily, the Wayne State baseball team was able to win that one, and that gets Ryan and Sankster to I'm gonna call it Jimmy John's Field, but UWM Field up in Utica. We finally got to make it out there. I had never been. I've drove by it a number of times. Was always excited to kind of make it out there, and in this case, the GLIAC baseball tournament. What better time to finally make it there? So we get out there Saturday night, and we get to see the Wayne State baseball team take on Davenport. And yeah, Davenport won 12-5. It's entirely possible our team was tired at that point. Tough slate when you drop an early GLIAC tournament game. You're do or die straight through. You're playing really hard. It just, that early game goes extra innings, and then you got to go up against the number 3 seed in GLIAC tournament. So not exactly what you wanted to see, but nonetheless, we definitely had a lot of fun exploring downtown Utica. Hit up a couple of spots. Hung out at the UWM Field. Got to see our fantastic maybe commissioner Chris Dunbar was there actually. So it was a good trip. I'm glad we got to make it out there. I am definitely bummed that this Davenport team ended up being able to take down our Wayne State baseball team, and it really at no point did it feel close. So that was probably the bummer more than anything, is there wasn't the excitement factor of we're getting back into it. Davenport just kind of ripped through this game, and it was cold, so I was also kind of done with that. And that's just kind of how that worked.
Yeah, Davenport had just they got a 4-run first inning. They never really looked back. I mean, Wayne State would bring it, they'd bring it close, and then Davenport would just have answers again. So at that point, there was a certain point in the game where it's like, man, we're just gonna go crush cheeseburgers in the clubhouse and whatever. Uh, but it also was my first time at a actual UWM field, and this thing has been around for 10 years, and I live right by it. And I've never been there. So it's a really cool venue. So if you have a chance to go see the USPBL out in Utica, it's a great time. Like I said, go check out, if you want some coffee, go check out Maine's Treat Coffee House. There's a location in Utica. They've also got one in Romeo. Uh, and the flip side also with the uh, GLIAC baseball tournament, Davenport essentially what they did to Wayne State, Grand Valley did to them in the championship. So, we'll talk a little more about the regional. Spoiler alert: Wayne State's playing in it, but Grand Valley ends up winning the GLIAC baseball tournament. They also end up getting the overall number 1 seed in the Midwest region. What we do have to back up a little bit for, though, is the women's track and field team. Going back kind of to last week was the GLIAC championships. Overall, as a team, Wayne State finished second behind Grand Valley. They kind of ran away with it, pun intended. But there were some individual championship GLIAC championships for Wayne State here. Avery Wilson got first in the 400-meter dash. There was a relay win for Wayne State in the 4x400 with Avery Wilson, Hannah Bastionson, Kenesha Thomas, and we have a really bad habit of just putting last names in here. Huizinga, and I will.
Oh, Audrey.
Audrey Huizinga. There we go. Also, Megan Zano got first in the 100-meter hurdles. Kenesha Thomas first in the 400-meter hurdles. Nicole Warren first in the triple jump, and Ella McCarty got first in the javelin, and also the coaching staff got the GLIAC Women's Coaching Staff of the Year. So some really big things happening at the conference level for Wayne State. Again, finishing second just behind Grand Valley. And it continued on even after the conference meet for some last chance meets, and some of them look pretty good. Starting out at the Michigan Len Paddock Open on Friday, May 8th. Emily Gordon and Anna Godowski competed in the 800-meter run. They took 4th and 7th place, respectively. Also at the Northern Illinois Husky Classic on May 8th, Megan Zanow competed in the 100-meter hurdles. She finished second. And Ryan, you want to cover the last ones we got? There were a couple.
Yeah. So the St. Francis Fighting Chance invite definitely. I mean, this was a big one. It seemed
This
like
was the big one, yeah.
a ton of our team was in attendance for this one. So yeah, Megan Zanow actually improved her NCAA provisional time there in the 100-meter hurdle. She did nearly set a school record. So props to her. Looking over at the 200-meter dash, both Hannah Bastionson and Avery Wilson were competing in this one. They finished second and third, respectively. Looking at the 400-meter dash, Avery Wilson ends up getting third. 800-meter run, Emily Gordon won that one. The 4x100-meter relay, the squad there for Wayne State ended up getting second place. Kanisha Thomas, who, again, kind of a little bit of a spoiler alert, I don't believe got an NCAA national selection here. In the 400-meter hurdle, she ended up winning that one. Nicole Warren wins the triple jump, and Annabelle Smith gets third in the long jump. And then, and then the very, very final last ditch effort is the GVSU last day meet. This was back on May 10th, which would have been, I believe, Sunday.
Yep.
And then Emily Gordon and Kanisha Thomas were in attendance competing in that one. I don't think too much of a note coming out of that one. So, it's just improve your scores, see if you can get yourself in a better position. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen for either of them, but we do have some NCAA tournament nationals representation. I guess we could talk a little bit more about that here in the second half, Sangster.
Yep.
And that'll be happening in Emporia, Kansas. Fun fact: disc golf capital of the world. Very, very fantastic events that happen in Kansas. So that's where NCAA nationals will be happening for women's track and field.
Isn't Emporia also like a disc golf brand? Thought it was.
It is not to my knowledge. I believe Dynamic Discs might be there
Gotcha.
because there's a big tournament that happens there. It's one of the biggest ones, and they have some pretty cool courses.
Gotcha. Oh yeah. Well, Emporia State definitely has a disc golf team, and sure enough, when you Google Emporia disc golf, first thing that pops up, visit Emporia.com. Visit the disc golf capital of the world. So
Yeah.
yeah, really big stuff for the
For the
NCAA
women's
championships. We will talk about that in the next segment. But the last team that had action going on last week was the men's tennis team. They, amongst all the, I think the baseball stuff, it kind of got buried that the men's tennis team was out at the NCAA Midwest Regional. They were ranked as the number 3 seed. Unfortunately, it did not go Wayne State's way. They were in round 1. They were facing the number 30th ranked number 6 seed Northwood, again former GLIAC opponent, now in the GMAC. They were playing in Big Rapids on May 11th, and unfortunately, Wayne State dropped that one 4-1 to Northwood. Not much really went Wayne State's way here. They lose the doubles point. Louis Klaus and Thomas Mathis did win one of the doubles matches. And it was close. In the number 3 set, Tom Wasner and Harry Forsyth did lose, but they lost 7-6. Certainly close there. In the singles matches, the only Wayne State player to win was Louis Klaus, beating his opponent. Otherwise, it didn't go Wayne State's way, and it wasn't really close either way. There were 2 unfinished matches. The matches, though, that Wayne State had lost, all those guys had lost in the first set, and the second sets really weren't that much closer. So kind of a tough end for the Wayne State men's tennis team this year, still being able to make the NCAA tournament, unfortunately not being able to get too far out of regionals. If there is one thing you could take away, it's very similar to the baseball team, where you have a lot of guys that are underclassmen. There's actually only one guy that's going to be leaving. Louis Klaus is a grad student. Other than that, there are no seniors on the team this year. So a lot of these guys are going to be coming back, still being able to compete at a high level. I think the future is still pretty bright here for this Wayne State men's tennis team.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think the future is bright. I'm very excited to continue following this team, but I will also say that this season was the way that it ended was a complete letdown. Ferris State ended up going on to beat Northwood by a final score of 4-1. And I know it makes it a little bit too much of a black and white argument to say, well, we played Ferris a lot closer than Northwood did, which is a true statement. But you think about the fact that this team was rated, or ranked higher than Northwood, and we kind of went out there and it looked pretty rough there. We definitely could have put up a better performance, and I think there was a lot more in store for this team than what they were able to. It just felt like we blinked and the season was over, and that felt a little bit not the way that it should have ended, to me at least. And that's not to take away anything that they've done throughout this season, but it's just to say that I would have loved the opportunity to take on Fair State for a chance to go to the, I guess it'd be the Sweet 16, if you want to call it out that way, for the uh the NCAA tournament there. But that being said, like, again, like you put it very well, saying, so this is a team that's built for the next 2 seasons, realistically, barring any
Yeah.
revolving door or whatever transfers or any unforeseen circumstances. This is a team that's definitely built for the future. But I would have liked to see a lot more from this team. I think they were positioned to really put up a good uh, postseason run.
Yeah, and I think there were some signs early. They do the trip to Florida like they do every year, and I the results certainly aren't what they wanted. They aren't what they were in years past. So I think there was early signs that there could have been some drop off from the years past. Certainly, they were able to overcome that. Still getting into the NCAA tournament, still getting to the GLIAC championship and falling there, but still being the runners up in the GLIAC. So they still did a lot. It's a shame it had to end the way it did, but I think again things are still looking up for this team.
Yeah, totally agree. So that's what we had over the last week. And for the last time this season, thanks, sir, we're going to take a break. We're going to highlight the stuff that we got coming up over the next couple of weeks. We'll see how long it goes on for. We'll officially wrap up the season, and then we get to break out the lawn chairs and the coolers and enjoy a nice summer away from school. So,
And the drivers
yeah, and the drivers, we get to break those out. So we'll
or the
take a quick
players.
break, and we will be right back. Ain't no driver in my bag.
Hey,
Just a good old trusty 3 wood.
just got to hit up play it again, man. Find the best looking driver for the sort of least amount of money,
True. True.
or just wait till John invests in more and buy his old one.
Yeah, and he will. I saw. Oh, you remember Lindsay, right? One of Mammoth's friends.
Dargo? No, not really,
Oh,
but it
would you
sounds
have met
familiar.
her? You maybe stumbled upon her maybe when we came out for like volleyball or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, they live in South Carolina anyway.
Mhm.
Her, I don't think, husband, significant other, just put up like a 4 iron or a 6 iron or something like that on Facebook Marketplace for like $375. I'm like, what the
One
heck is that thing?
one club.
One club. I was like, are you in? What is this? Isn't like Tiger Woods club?
Crack is a hell of a drug.
Like, and he's probably not far off because this guy follows golf like crazy. But like my brother, what the hell is
Did
it?
did, did Scotty like take it to bed with him?
God, for real. Let's see if I can find this. Crap. Yeah, I don't know how to find it now.
Oh, that's how it goes on Marketplace. You see something, and if you don't save it, it's gone forever.
Yeah, yeah. I saw it posted, and apparently you can't just go and see that on somebody's timeline very easily. So
No.
that's exciting.
Oh no. No, no, no.
No, are you insane? That'd be a silly way to do things.
Facebook Marketplace, literally the only thing going for Facebook Marketplace is that so many people use it.
Yeah,
Craigslist has gotten better. The problem is nobody uses Craigslist anymore.
yeah. No, Facebook Marketplace is pretty elite. Also, I mean, I don't generally ever really trust the reviews, but it is nice every so often when you see like some reviews on a person and they have a picture that isn't like a picture of like the ocean. And you're like, oh, you might actually be a real person. You're not gonna kill me.
Some guy gave me a 4-star review as a buyer because I went out on time and everything like that. And when I was messaging him before, I asked, "Hey, is this in running condition?" He's like, "Yeah, it is." And get there and say, "Hey, can you start it for me?" He's like, and he tries and tries this thing. It's a lawn edger. It didn't start. He's like, "Oh, okay, man. I'll take $20 off for you." I'm like, "Sweet deal." And he gave me 4 stars.
Unbelievable.
Screw that guy.
Yeah, he was just burning up inside. What would you end up paying anyway? Like 140
20
bucks
bucks.
or something.
It was
Also, it
gonna
was
be
40 originally.
yeah,
Oh, like he lost an arm and a leg on it. Good Lord.
yeah. New Baltimore, right?
New ball. Hmm. YouTube Live, if you're listening, it's a hell of a place. There's Hicks on the water.
Bow, 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 now.
Yeah.
Hicks on the water. Bow, 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 now.
Alrighty, thanks. So let's wrap this up. We got one last half, and then we
One
are
last hurrah.
DONE done, done, done. Let's leave that up. All right. I am ready. And we're back. Quick start to the second half here of episode 132. We're going to close it out, Sangster. We don't have too much to talk about that's coming up, which is why we've decided that this is going to be our way to wrap it up. Really quick one, though, because I know she's not going to be competing for a little over a week at this point. But again, congratulations to Wayne State women's track and field representative, Megan Zanau, who has been selected to NCAA Nationals. She'll be competing in the 100-meter hurdles, I believe, in the preliminary on May 22nd. So again, this is happening in Emporia, Kansas. Fantastic for her to get to take a trip down there, represent Wayne State University, hoping that we get a good showing for her. Hopefully a personal best. We'll see what happens. But again, congrats, Megan, on the opportunity to go and represent Wayne State and yourself for that matter.
Absolutely. And kind of wrapping it up now, it's the last team sport that's still playing. It is the Wayne State baseball team. They are in the Division II baseball championship. They're entering as the number 3 seed in the Midwest. So starting out this Thursday, May 14th, they will be playing Missouri St. Louis, a team that Wayne State ends up playing a lot in a lot of different sports out of the GLVC. The winner of that game will end up playing the winner of Illinois Springfield and UIndy. And after that, what's going to happen is they separate the Midwest region into 2 spots. Uh, After that, the winner is going to face off against the winner of the other half of the region, and we'll see what happens. Uh, certainly Wayne State has done a lot of great things throughout the regular season. Unfortunately, the showing in the GLIAC baseball tournament it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm sure it left a bad taste in their mouths too. And certainly, this team still has a lot to play for. It's definitely time to get a rebound against some of these other teams in the Midwest. Again, about half of them are actually coming out of the GLVC in the Midwest region this year. So uh, we'll see what they can do. At this point, you're in for what was the stat, like the third time in the past 5 seasons, something like that. This team is no stranger to the NCAA tournament, so go out there and see what they can do.
Yeah, no doubt. And I just happened to pull up the the regular season. So you mentioned Grand Valley, Wayne State, and Davenport. Those are your 3 representatives in the GLIAC, and we split against Grand Valley, and we split against Davenport. We had a home series against Grand Valley that we split against, and we were away when we took on Davenport. And you think about that. Luckily, we don't have to play them for unless we get through these first 2 rounds. And
Right.
that's really what it's going to come down to. So we're going to really find out a lot about this Wayne State baseball team. And I will say, thanks to we did mention early on that this was looking like this was going to be the team of the spring, and we're still talking about them. So I think
Yep.
I do think that solidifies it. That this feels like this was the team of the spring, and I also think that up until this point, this team has underperformed, and I think it's okay. But we have a huge opportunity in front of us. I mean, you got a couple of teams that I feel very confident in saying you can go out there and beat. I have full confidence in saying you can go out and beat Grand Valley and Davenport because you've done it. I don't know about Missouri S&T and Kentucky Wesleyan,
Missouri
but all
State.
these teams or Missouri. No, it's I'm looking at the Grand
Oh,
Valley
I,
side of
I
the
got you.
bracket. like we haven't played against them yet, but like I'm very confident in saying this team can go and win 3 straight games and get themselves to, the final 8 in the NCAA tournament. I truly do believe that they can do that. These last couple of weeks may have challenged that feeling a little bit. The thought like maybe we don't have the consistency, maybe we're not constantly showing up with great pitching performances as well as, a pretty good offensive performance or an amazing offensive performance and a reasonable pitching performance, whatever it needs to be. But I am confident that this team can make it there. They're just going to have to play their best baseball of the season for 3 straight games.
Yep.
And I don't think that's a tall order.
No, I don't think so either. There have been moments during the regular season, you know, this Wayne State team has won most, if not all, their series that they've played in. Uh, yeah, it didn't happen the way we wanted to in the GLIAC tournament, but it's time to just move on from that, see what you can do in the Midwest region. For what it's worth, I just pulled up Missouri St. Louis's stats. They ended up winning the GLVC baseball tournament. They finished at an overall record of 33-20, 24-8 in their conference. Really interesting here. They have the same record home and away, 15-9, and then 3-2 on neutral sites. You compare that with Wayne State, they now end their season 37-14, 17-7 in the GLIAC, 9-4 at home, 10-6 away. Neutral site games, 18-4. So certainly Wayne State has that experience playing on more neutral site fields. I think it's just going to be a big thing of how does the GLIAC compare to the GLVC in the Midwest region. I mean, you've got the Wayne State finishes second in the regular season standings. They finished third in the tournament. You're going against the conference winner of the GLVC. Now, I'm going to assume that if UMSL is a 6th seed here, that they probably were not the like regular season winner in the GLVC, but still a really good baseball team coming in. So I'd like to see just Wayne State go out there and win it, and certainly it's definitely possible. It's not like it's UMSL's St. Louis's field either. They're going to be playing this one in Springfield. So best of luck to the Wayne State baseball team.
Yeah, and just kind of looking at it, it just that this Thursday game, which for those of you who are listening, thank you. But also by the time you're listening to this team is probably already playing or have already played. But an important thing to remember, this Thursday game is huge. You get that win on Thursday, 3 p.m. against Missouri St. Louis. You start to kind of you get rid of the GLIAC tournament. You forget about that. You get a big win, like you said, Sangster against a GLVC a tournament champion, and hopefully you can build a little momentum going forward. And it's not that long to get to, a like nationals essentially. So I do think that they can get there. We got the pitching, we have the bats, we have the coaching staff, we have everything in place to be able to do it. It's just you got to string a couple games together where you feel good about, and
Yeah,
they haven't done that in a while, but they can do it.
right. And the beauty is, just like the GLIAC tournament, this is a double elimination format. It's so important, I think, that they get this first win over uh, St. Louis because the teams just get better after
Yeah.
after you get past them. They're the 6th seed, we're the 3 seed. At that point, the teams get better. We're either going to face Illinois Springfield or UIndy. They're better than Missouri St. Louis. If you can do anything within your power to avoid dropping that first game, I think Wayne State sets themselves up for a nice NCAA baseball tournament run.
Completely agreed. So good luck, baseball team. It's been fun following you all season. If you're able to catch this, maybe if we get this up on Instagram before the game goes out, before the game starts. I'm sorry. Yeah, it'll be really fun to follow. And I think this team, much like this Wayne State men's tennis team, it unfortunately didn't work out. So the way that we had hoped for them, this baseball team is positioned very well to be able to make a stretch. So we're going to be following along closely. We'll definitely be sharing, even though this is going to be our last episode. But good luck to the baseball team. So saying so, let's wrap it up. I kind of threw this in here at the end without kind of letting you know that I wanted to do this, but I want to wrap up the season with talking about, what was your, if you have multiple highlights, from your season, from the season, the entire 2025 to 26 season, and then what are you most excited about for the next season? I'll start since, like I said, I kind of just threw it on there. To me, it is a pretty distant win for this Wayne State women's basketball team being the only team to take down number one ranked Grand Valley, who ended up going on to win the D2 national title. I think the excitement that I experienced from this Wayne State women's basketball team, the team that they put together for years and years, this team was playing decent basketball, times pretty good basketball at times, underperforming at times, but to be able to go out there and not that recently, just last season, be really, really close to being able to take down again at that time, I believe the number one overall ranked team. They couldn't do it, but this season they didn't. We got to be in attendance for it. And I remember just how much we were sweating coming down the stretch for that one. They were finally able to do it. That was to me like that was the peak. I will also say, you know, turning the stone on some Wayne State football coaching staff, getting some new folks in here, new idea, new feel. Some of the stuff that's going around the football program right now, it's hard to say that that's a highlight, but that definitely does give me a little bit of optimism for what we have coming into next season.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm gonna go back a little further, kind of around to fall and football. Uh, Definitely a highlight of the fall was the Wayne State volleyball team being able to win the GLIAC pretty much outright, having a what did they do in the NCAAs? They gotta go farther down. Oh wow, we've already got the 2026 volleyball schedule up. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, they were able to make it to the Midwest Regional, a hard fought match against Finley, but still being able to win the GLIAC tournament. I thought they won the GLIAC regular season as well. So really big stuff from the Wayne State volleyball team, kind of salvaging a very not so good fall from the football team. You know, when you're talking about kind of the quick hits from earlier in the season, I pulled up episode 101 and oh my, everything we talked about for the football section. Yikes. uh but hey, that's part of the podcast sports opinion business. Sometimes you get things wrong, and well, yeah, we were kind of wrong about football. But it is what it is. From everything we've seen so far, we again, we don't know what the X's and O's are going to be, but it looks like we've got a guy that definitely wants to be at Wayne State no matter the circumstance of how he got there. It looks like he's got these guys bought into what it means to be at Wayne State, being able to move on from that terrible, no good season last year. And then I also agree with you. The team of the winter was definitely the Wayne State women's basketball team. Uh, Nowhere to go but up for them, I think. And yeah, a lot of big things happening over that past winter.
Yeah, and that's another team I think we're going to be watching. Of course, we're looking way ahead at this point. That women's basketball team is going to be another one I'm going to have my eye on next season. I mean, they're going to be well positioned once again, with quite a few players returning and some ones that put up some big numbers for them. And then I see you typing it on there right now, saying, I mean, the the ability to activate that area behind Tom Adams Field, which during our time was the practice field, which is where we did, marching band practice. It was grass back in the day. It was
It,
not
it's
that
where the
nice of a
team went to
field.
practice when there are still other grass fields in the GLIAC. There are no other grass fields in the GLIAC now. So
Yeah, so being able to activate that and then also hitting a soccer market, which I don't study sports markets all that much, but I do know that soccer is an extremely popular sport, and it
you
happens right
are
at the
the
same
owner of a
time as
professional soccer team, right? I am.
yeah, that is true. But the ability to field a soccer team, take up some already existing space that existed on the athletics campus, tidy it up a little bit, make it look really Wayne State it and make it look nice green, gold, give it a good surface to be able to play on. That is also very exciting. And in addition to all of the sports that we have going on in the fall, football, of course, I'll say it is forever going to be right up at the top of it. Volleyball is not far behind, but football to me is the sport of the fall, and it will be for
Yeah.
forever. But then you get to throw soccer out there as well and get to throw that in the middle of all of these sports. And people who maybe don't like football and volleyball as much as I do or as much as Sangster does, soccer's out there too. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I just love seeing the improvements to the athletics campus as well.
Yeah. Does it feel like real to you yet that we have like an actual NCAA soccer team? Like it hasn't hit for me yet. I don't think it'll hit until I think the first game that we're planning to go to as of right now in May is probably going to be that night game at Detroit Mercy, who we just laughed at for their basketball team. But still, I don't think it's going to quite hit that it's real yet until we actually get out to go see a game or two.
Yeah, I totally agree. But yeah, I mean, there's a number of things that excite me, but definitely the soccer and football. And luckily, they're the big two that are coming up next. I think those are going to be very, very exciting. And we'll see any other improvements that come around. Of course, we're not going anywhere. We're definitely going to continue sharing stuff out on the socials. But that's all I got, Sangster. Any last words as we get ready to wrap up season number 4?
Well, yeah, definitely. When you said we're not going anywhere, yes, you can vote in our little poll that we've got on Instagram, but no, we're not going to. No matter what you say, we are not going to stop. But also, yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm excited to see what the soccer team could do in the first year. Uh, Inaugural for any kind of Wayne State soccer team. It's not like they had one in the past that they're bringing back. Men's track is probably the one that you'd like to see do that, but also again with football, like you can't do much worse than you did last year. You can, in the worst case scenario, you can only match it, and at that point, it is what it is. We still got some fun things planned out. We always love to do our tailgates. Hopefully, the Wayne State what do you call it, music alumni department reaches out. We'd love to do help host the alumni band thing again. Definitely planning our trip to, it's going to be Houghton this year for the last game of the season. It's going to be a cold one. I've already got the hotel booked. My truck is getting some major work done at the dealership right now, so it'll be ready for summer and the football season coming up. And I'm just excited to see what these guys can do. And again, it's not an ideal situation of what has happened with football, but uh, I don't think there's anything that could ever get me to stop being excited for a new season of football. I mean, for me personally, it's the same thing with MSU. Like, yeah, new coach coming in, lots of guys left, guys that you brought in, you don't know what they're going to be. I'm still excited to see what they're going to do. So that's definitely the highlight of my fall coming up. And certainly I think for the winter and spring in those sports, Wayne State has been a little more consistent year over year. That, yeah, we've come to expect the Wayne State, women's basketball team to at least be in the top half, if not higher, in the GLIAC. Men's basketball, certainly we'd like to see them take that next step from being like right at that 500 to elevating their game. See what they can come up with this year. I know they signed some guys, including from your high school. And yeah, just staying the course also in the spring sports. Like, yeah, tennis, especially women's tennis, is going to need a bit of a rebound. Men's tennis, I think, is still set up for the future. This GLIAC baseball, Wayne State baseball team, they're in the NCAA tournament. They're still going to be good. Uh, so really big things I think are still in store for Wayne State coming up in 26, 27.
Yeah, no doubt. It's going to be a big one with more sports than ever. So
Yep.
that leads to excitement. A lot of the improvements on campus leads to excitement, and it's going to continue on, and we're going to be back. But again, like definitely, as we wrap up season 4 here and close it out, if there's something you'd like to see us, change up, some things you'd like to see us talk about or, consider for next season, please let us know. We're here for not ourselves. We're not here for ourselves. We are here for ourselves. We would, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say that on air, what we'd be doing. We're here for the Wayne State athletes. We're here to share the word of everything that's going on around Wayne State athletics. We will continue to do that as long as we're able to do it and as long as it feels like it's a good use of our time. And right now it is a great use of our time. So with all of that being said, For about the next 15 weeks, you won't be hearing from us on the podcast. But that being said, we appreciate everybody listening in on episode 132 of the Warrior House podcast and concluding season number 4 of the Warrior House podcast.
It's been a great year, and it's been a great day to be a Wayne State Warrior.
All done.